Do you want to earn $10,000 a month while still in college but don't know how? I can help you. This video will be separate in 3 simple parts. And if you like my content and enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Let's dive in. And just moving to the first part, I'll teach you how to make money. There are 3 ways. They progressively get more complex, but they also progressively help you make more money. But first, hear me out. I'm a multimillionaire today, and that's directly connected to what I was doing in my 20s. I started investing when I was 17, and I lost everything in my first trade. That moment changed everything. Instead of giving up, I became obsessed with learning how money really works. And while I was studying, I discovered that at my age, it didn't really matter how good I was. What mattered was how much money I could make. The YouTube gurus are right when they say you need to invest, but they're wrong when they say it's the most important thing. If you look at this chart, you'll see that only after about 20 years of consistent investing do your returns start to surpass the total amount you contributed. So before worrying about compound interest, let's make your cash pile bigger. And what did I do in my 20s? I was never unemployed. Actually, I did everything. I was a waiter, then a headhunter, then a marketing intern. I literally tried it all. And that's why I'm the right person to tell you what to do. I used to work at Outback as a waiter, and I looked it up. You can make around $18.95 an hour with that job. That's about $2,501 a month if you work just 22 days, 6 hours a day. Not bad. You can also do delivery driving, nail design, cleaning, any kind of in-person service. Most of those jobs pay roughly the same at first. They're easy to start, and they give you fast money. For me, that's the easiest way to make money, but also the least scalable. You can make $10,000 a month, but that will be hard. At this stage, I'd combine a stable job with a side gig and invest all the extra cash. Work a regular job during the week, deliver food on weekends. It's worth it if you really want that money. The next way is selling products, your art, baked goods, handmade crafts, whatever you can create. But honestly, that's my least favorite option in most cases because you need talent. You can't sell art if you can't make art. And even if you can, it takes time to build demand, so it usually won't make you much money early on. Still, if you're creative, it's a good way to test ideas, build a personal brand, and maybe turn your hobby into a business later. Now, this is my favorite by far, selling online services. I'm a big YouTuber in my home country. That's actually how I got rich. And because of that, I know exactly what I need. Good editors, good designers, good thumbnail creators. Every day, I get dozens of DMs from people offering me their services. Also, selling services gives you a much higher profit margin. When you sell products, you need money up front to buy materials, produce, store, and ship. Your profit margin usually stays around 20% to 40% after costs. But when you sell services, all you really need is your time, skill, and a computer. There's almost no inventory or production cost, which means your profit margin can easily hit 80% to 90%, much higher than selling physical products. Beginner video editors, for example, usually earn between $20 and $50 per hour or $100 to $500 per project, depending on complexity. Once you learn how to find clients consistently, it's not hard to reach $5,000 a month as a beginner. And after a few months of training and improving your skills, you can take on more complex projects, editing YouTube videos, brand campaigns, or ads, and easily earn $10,000 to $20,000 per month. I've personally paid that much to editors, and you probably want to know the difference between the people I hire and the ones I don't. The ones I hire always show me a strong portfolio, clean, detailed, and full of metrics and examples. They make it easy for me to see their work and their results. The ones I don't hire usually have either a weak portfolio or bad work. And here's the secret. To be great at online services, you don't need luck, you need benchmarks. Study the best people in your field and model your work after them. For example, one of my benchmarks is Graham Stephan. Sometimes my designers use his thumbnails as inspiration to improve mine. That's not copying, that's learning from the best. Because at the end of the day, success online isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about understanding what works, doing it better, and showing that you can deliver real value. Moving to the second part, how to make more money. Because I gave you some alternatives for making money, but I want you to understand the mechanism that every rich person understands to make even more and grow infinitely. The answer is scale. Here's how it works. At first, you're selling hours. Let's say you charge $20 an hour and work 8 hours a day, 22 days a month. That's $3,520 per month, or about $42,000 per year. You'll survive, but you'll never get rich. Every dollar depends on your time, and that means your income has a ceiling. Then you move to selling services. Instead of charging per hour, you charge per result. Let's say you sell video edits for $500 each and do just 6 per month. That's $3,000. Even if you spent fewer hours working, your hourly rate just jumped and your effort now multiplies. Next, you move to selling projects. Imagine you close a client for $2,000. You pay $800 to a freelancer to handle part of it and keep $1,200 profit. If you land just 5 projects a month, that's $6,000 or over $70,000 a year clear and you didn't work alone. That's when you start scaling through other people. And finally, you reach equity. This is the real wealth builder. Equity means you stop selling your present and start selling your future. When someone buys equity from you, they're basically paying you today for the hours you haven't even worked yet. They're buying your potential. Think of it like this. If an investor buys 10% of your business for $100,000, they're saying your company is worth $1 million, even if you've only made $100,000 in revenue so far. That's the magic of equity. It compresses time. You're being paid now for the value you'll create in the next 5 or 10 years. That's why Elon Musk hasn't needed to work for a long time. He only works now because of purpose, not money. He already sold his future hours years ago when he built Tesla. Investors bought into his vision, not his time. They paid billions for what he might create, not what he had already done. That's what equity is, selling potential, not labor. Once you reach that level, you stop thinking in terms of salary or projects. You think in terms of ownership. You don't ask, how much will I earn this month? You ask, how much of this can I own? Every person who became truly rich did it this way. I did it. That's how you escape the time trap. That's how you go from earning money to building wealth. Because at the end of the day, the richest people in the world don't trade their hours for dollars. They trade their ideas for ownership and let time do the heavy lifting. Moving to the third part of this video, you don't necessarily need to build your own company to play the equity game. I built mine, and I believe it's the best path, but it's not the only one. Equity simply means owning a piece of something valuable. You can get it by building or by joining. Some people build a business from scratch and own 100% of it. Others join a growing company early, add massive value, and earn shares or stock options, which can end up being worth millions. And you can also play the equity game through the financial market. There are two main ways to expose yourself to it. The first one is buying ETFs. It's cheap, easy, and safe. You're basically buying small pieces of hundreds of companies at once. Historically, the S&P 500 has delivered around 10% per year on average. It's not exciting, but it's reliable. It's how you build wealth slowly and securely. But if you really want to expose yourself to convex opportunities, the ones that can multiply your money, you need to learn how to buy individual stocks the right way. There are nearly 6,000 publicly traded companies in the United States. That's a lot, and most of them aren't worth your money. Picking the right ones requires focus. And I already have a video on the channel teaching you how to analyze stocks, and you can watch it in the card above. Now let's put some math behind it. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month from investments, that's $120,000 per year, how much money do you actually need working for you? If your portfolio grows 10% a year, which is about the historical average of the stock market, you'd need $1.2 million invested. 10% of $1.2 million is $120,000. You're $10,000 a month. If you're able to compound at 15% per year, you'd need around $800,000 invested. At 25% a year, which is hard but not impossible if you own or build exceptional businesses, you'd only need $480,000 invested. That's why the rich care so much about returns. Every extra percentage point of growth cuts years off your path to financial freedom. Because the truth is, making $10,000 a month isn't about grinding harder. It's about owning assets that work while you sleep. The faster your money grows, the sooner you stop working for it, and it starts working for you. So that's it, cousins. Stay invested.